Okay, so it's 5, but it's so dark. I haven't opened the curtains. It's dark out. Last night was weird, even though it seems like I slept a lot, but I don't know. Everything is weird. It's like your attachment to life, like how you grip reality. Like it's all just so weird. And definitely the whole thing, sleeping and stuff is different now, like to me. Um, and all the, it's like, it's like this energy is being exposed to us, like I've been saying, but it like comes through like grown ass men setting fireworks off on their head and dying when they're drunk, and all the people around them thinking that's a good idea. So, um, it's like that same thing where I said, this no respect. It's like you have all these people who don't respect the nature. It's like it's like it's like this energy, kind of the same thing as a young person, a teenager who thinks they're invincible. Nothing can hurt them, so they just do whatever. And that is, I don't know if that is like a beginner's soul or something, or it's just their energy they came in to learn or to how to experience or whatever. But I don't know. I think that you got to have respect for nature. And it's not like, it's weird because it's not like living in fear to have respect for what's out there. Like, I don't think it's living in fear to be aware that there's things in the forest you may not want to interact with. Like, I don't think that's being in fear, that's being aware. And then over 4th of July, there's, I think it was, they figure it was one shark that attacked 4 different people. Now, all the people keep going in the water, and it's weird how it keeps being different places. Like, these people are going in the water, they're getting attacked. So then they're clearing the beach. So then these people over here, they're getting attacked in another state, a different beach. And so then I don't know if they're staying clear or people are just watching for sharks or what. And then all of a sudden it's over here, and then it's over here. And then Cancun was being hit with the hurricane. And it just is like, when you look at these videos of these people, all these people in, was it Jamaica? I can't remember what place it was in when, but anyways, its root is all this vacation, all these people on vacation. So there's all these people who are in these places and, are in a storm, away from their home, and whatever goes down. And I think in one of the videos I saw of Jamaica, because a lot of these videos, the places are all like tore up now. And the airport was shut down. You couldn't even leave. Those people who were stuck in Japan, those are in Tokyo or whatever, those people did get home. And I don't know. I didn't listen to her whole story, so I don't know how it went down or whatever. But everything is just going to keep having hassles. It is like when you just keep going around living like you don't have respect, like you're not paying attention, you don't care, it's all about you, and you're not. And I saw this video. So apparently in Huntington Beach, there's like it was a big festival. There's all sorts of tents out where people are probably selling stuff. Like it's a big festival thing. And so, and they have music and everything. And so, um, there's lots of people there. And this woman was doing this video talking about, how scared she was. So this guy just jumped out of the car, ran up in the crowd, and stabbed 6 people. And I think 2 of them died or something. Like, there was tons of this kind of stuff. tons of this kind of stuff. And on live, it's constant standoffs. There's constant, there's so much chaos. And so she was saying, you know, she was at home and she was just like so scared. She wanted to go to the thing, but she was so scared. And so she had to like talk herself through it. And her thing that she came to was like, she's not going to let other people keep her in fear so she doesn't go out and do the things that she enjoys doing, which that's her lesson. See, we all have our own lessons. Whatever she's supposed to learn and get over, then that could be, you know, perfectly fine. She'll go and she learned her thing and, you know, it's perfectly fine. I don't know. I don't know each person's experience, but each person has to walk themselves through. And there could be, like, she could go out and be in the middle of another huge thing. And then I don't think she was at the other one. I think she just was aware it happened. She might have been at the place, but I don't think she witnessed it or anything. But then, and then you could go out and there could be consequences, and that's your lesson. There's all these lessons. Everything is about seeing as believing. And so everything is this, it's all about this learning curve, and you've got to go with what you feel on the inside. You can't change how you feel for somebody else. And because to me, it's like I'm happy being at home. I'm happy, you know, especially like if you think of like, oh, well, if these are the last days, and it's like, yeah, but it's all blowing up. Everything's blowing up. I would rather be at home with my dog and spending time with her. Yeah, I want to go see my family and spend time with them too. But man, and I'm gonna go do it. But it's like, even just thinking about that, and it isn't like I'm sitting there thinking, oh, I'm gonna get attacked on the way or something like that. Which, you know, anything that happens is supposed to happen. Like, you know, fireworks blowing your head off. What was that other? Because I just saw another one where a guy just did such a strange thing and it led to his death. There's lots of that. And some of it is like you are on, man, this is so hard to explain because you have to be on, the stuff I say, you can take it at so many different levels. So, but if you, because there is a thing about you're not ever doing anything wrong, but you are always learning lessons and you always have opportunities to turn a different direction and go a different way, go a different path. You always have these options. And sometimes you are learning whatever the lessons are at these certain things. So, and when you come in to this game, like you are on a script, like I said, like there's people out there hurting other people and stuff like that who feels like it's just out of their control. There's nothing they can do because, yeah, you're playing a role. You have a role to play. But then it's like you can wake up to your role and make changes. But it's not like, oh, look, he changed it. No, it would be you are always going to do that at that time. There's nothing that can happen that wasn't meant to happen. It's impossible. Because remember how I said everything is like clicks into place. Everything is on a timer. Everything is exact moments in time. Every interaction you have isn't just like, oh, well, maybe or possibly or something. No, it's synchronized. Everything in life is synchronized. Everything is destiny. And you chose your plan. It's not like somebody forced you. It's not like you were lined up and they forced you into a life that you didn't want with people you don't like. No, all the people who you think you don't like, then that is why you got a question in your mind, like, why? Because as a soul, you like them all. Because I hear this all the time, all the time. You're born to people that you don't know. You're born in a family you don't like. You're born in all this kind of stuff. And it's like, that's not how I see it. is you have, like I've said before, the thing I see, like the visual is, it was like a show or a cartoon or something a long time ago when I was a kid. And um, I think it was even say Ride the Wave. And I think it was a gum commercial. But it had this like it had this like color spectrum thing, kind of like a rainbow. Maybe it would say ride the rainbow, ride the color, something. And and it would move and it would unfold. It wouldn't unfold, it would just move out like a slide or something. That was the movement more, as this sliding kind of thing. But so it would go like this, it was all this colors and stuff. And I can't remember the music and all that, but that's what comes into my visual, that uh, thing. But my understanding of it is all those colors, the color spectrum is us, it's our aura. And so the color spectrum is like we are the creation of this color spectrum of but this is like on an energetic level in the universe, like, and you are in alignment with your people in your aura. And so if you took this idea of living into a certain aspect, that is what is going on, is color moving through space and time. And the way it moves, it creates, and things like come from it. But it's weird because you gotta keep thinking like this is a cosmic mind or something. So I always kind of go into like how our minds work, like with dreams and reality and stuff. And I think that is why so much is like shifting, is to give us more understanding and more perspective. So it's opening our minds more. But on this certain level, the people who you're around, who you're creating these lives with, are you're like in your color spectrum. I don't, and it's weird because it's like in your color spectrum, it's like you create other worlds. So like there's worlds, like I think the way I'm seeing it is like if you went to the Pleiades, like what we have an understanding of the world is very different. But this, it's weird because it is like micro macro. Because there was a thing about America was going to be this multi cultural place, but really what it is them trying to strip all culture out of people and divide us on what we see as different about us, so that we stay more controllable. And so, but really, that is a part of the illusion. But you have to break down your own biases to see through that illusion. But the but what is so on the micro macro, so like if you went to America or California, especially New York, like you go to some places multicultural, tons and tons of different people from different places and all different vibrations. And then like if you went to the Middle East and you went there, it would, like, you'd have a crowd of people that are all the same culture, all the same. And I'm not sure, like you go to the Middle East and you could go to Saudi Arabia or something, or Afghanistan or something. Maybe it is more multicultural than I have an awareness of, but this is just how I'm seeing it. and to have an understanding. And so you would take like that group where they're all like the same, that is like in the same color, like a color spectrum thing, like they're all on this certain vibration. That's why I said too, there's certain groups, there's whole groups of people that came in for these huge experiences. And I had said that there was going to be big groups of people who were going to all pass together. Some of that's going too. There's all that stuff is going to be going. This one, I think, was 35 people or something. But there's going to be more of these plane crashes, train crashes, boat, like buildings going down, neighborhoods blowing up. There's gonna be all sorts of weird shit, I think, that is going to be. But you gotta remember that that's just a part of the storyline for those people to exit. And so, but it's also part of our storyline. The people are here to witness the destruction of what had went down as this other world was ending, because we are witnessing the destruction of an aspect of humanity. And so, like, if you went to the Pleiades, or I don't want to say Syria, because every time I say Syria, it makes me think of that place. uh, so I keep thinking, am I saying it wrong or something? Syria, like, but there's these other places. And I think when you go to those, see, it's like this same vibration. And it is like this color spectrum wave thing. So that is kind of what it is gonna be. It is kind of like, oh, so when this kind of like when things kind of change, and when we start being able to go out and experience more stuff, it is kind of like, well, kind of like how I'm seeing it is like if everybody was given these cloths and all these different vibrations, and it is each group what they do with the cloth, what they create. So each community, so it could be like same vibrations, but each community, it's like, what do they do with what they have? Which some of it, a lot of stuff too, will kind of participate with the environment, which is a big part of what we're not used to. Everything has been in conflict. And so communities and stuff will be a lot more like what we think of as going green or whatever. Everything will go a lot more into this harmonious environments created that are in like a symbiotic level. And so it won't be like, I mean, how I see it almost is like we wouldn't go in and just cut down all these trees. We would build around them. It's like it's gonna be different. Like if we thought, well, we want to have a community here and we like these trees, like maybe all those houses are gonna be tall and narrow instead of cutting down trees and going this direction. So it will be different things and different ways of living. And so that will be what's really cool when you get to go out and start traveling. But it's going to be this harmonization again of the instruments going in with their group. This is like this reshuffling, because there has been there has been such a hodgepodge of energy. And but maybe that is like what is a more natural thing for us to be, is into around our own, is our most comfortable. This is more uncomfortable, but this is where we're learning, because we have to get over biases and accept other people. And so that is kind of like why it's such a big thing, while there's so much watching happening as this is occurring, because this is a huge part of accepting, because there's all these different beings who are in their own places, but they don't interact. And it's like you go to their place, it's their philosophy, it's how they live. You go to this place, it's their philosophy, it's how they live and stuff. They're not trying to duplicate or replicate somebody else's, and nobody's putting pressure to say you have to live a certain way. And so in this, we are all learning this way of being able to, it's like, stay true to yourself, accept other people. It's like a combination. It's like this combination. And it is, I think it's changing people's vibration. Like, I don't know, like you have it, like your soul has a certain vibration, and then you have a different vibration in here in this game. It's like you're lowered in your vibration. It's like you are, I always see it as like going into the ocean and having to put on all this big outfit to go down into this density of the ocean, where if you go down very far, they say like the water will collapse you. It's like it's so heavy and stuff. And I don't know. I mean, that's supposedly way down in the depths, and I don't know. Could be you go down and you just go through portals and go in other places, and they just don't want us down there. Just like they don't want us out there. They don't want us, they want us to stay in a very controlled environment, so that we are very confused and outdated. That's true. We're is like outdated. There are so many outdated philosophies here and ways of looking at things and understanding. And and it creates division, so everything has to break apart. But anyways, so we are more prepared. So it's not, you're not seeing your full self, because you're seeing the spacesuit, the water suit, spacesuit thing that is used to go into the experience. But it has all to do with this vibrational coming together. It is like coming together outside of where it's most comfortable. And so that is, because you would think that it was like the most badass souls have come in for this experience, and we all sit here looking at each other like, God, that person's an idiot. Oh my God, they're stupid. Oh God, this, that, and the other thing. And sitting here judging other people all the time. And I think, though, all the people are a lot more badassery than we want to give them credit for, because they're just playing roles and playing parts, and you can't go off your script. Your script is imprinted into you, and it's not like you could go off of it. And so and I don't know what it was like. Every word, like if everything I say, it was like already, or if we have any kind of openness on any of this stuff. Like, I don't know. I know that everything is very timed. Like, nothing can go out. Like, even if, like, people think, oh, well, I've got to be there at this time. That time has nothing to do with it. It has to do with when you get there. That's the time you get there, and that's the time you were supposed to get there. And time is an illusion that they keep us chasing something and running from something. But it is where you have to just learn how to accept where you are is where you're supposed to be. And it is a challenge. Very challenging. A lot of these things, like the experience, like I was like, oh, that is so deep. Like, because we're in an experience, but we overlook our own experience. But the whole challenge is learning how to experience your experience. And it's like, that is a challenge. It is a challenge to be present at all times. It's real easy to slip into, something happens. It's like right away you start computing. Okay, how am I going to do this? What am I going to do? Because I've got that going on right now. And you see yourself slip into it so quickly. So that that foster dog is coming today. I'm trying to not stress at all. I'm trying to be like, okay, this came to me. There was or some stuff, and she had messaged me, well, I can get him a ride and all this stuff. And I asked some more questions, and then more of the things I keep seeing and stuff, it's just I feel very motivated to try and do my part. Like I kind of feel like, God, I should just take like 3 or 4 more of these goddamn fosters. Like, goddamn, there's so much goddamn abuse in this world. There's so much cruelty. Like that, and the fucking bullshit. Especially Houston. There's some places that are gonna be going down, dude. I'm telling you. Um, they're just these animals are coming in and they're just killing them, killing them, killing them. Healthy animals. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And there's these videos because these rescue people, when a dog goes on to their hit list or whatever, then they start trying to get them moved and they start trying to wheel and deal with these places. But these places are owned. There's a whole thing with the Houston one. Like this is, there's going to be some, because it's cruel. Like you're not supposed, like we shouldn't be doing that. And whoever came up with it, this was a solution. We'll round up homeless dogs and we'll just put them to death. Well, the reason that they're doing it is because they are taking the meat and feeding it back to the people. Fucking guaranteed. Guaranteed. Just like I know that they are not wasting dead people's hair. They make way too fucking much money off of this shit. They are not fucking wasting it. It wouldn't surprise me. Well, I bet you that's why. Oh, dang. Okay. So back a long time ago, see, everybody would get buried. And people keep talking weird stuff about the cemeteries. The only thing I know about it is like when my granddaughter died and my side of the family is more, it was cremation. Like we all want to be cremated. But this other side of the family was Mormon, and they didn't believe in that. They believed you had to, they have their own beliefs. So we went, with that because that is important to somebody. So, go sit and argue about that. And I don't like that. I don't like the idea of this little baby buried. The whole thing is hard. And then your parents do move away and stuff. And I remember that whole thing, like when my grandma was buried and we would go see her and we go see her, and then we moved away. And it was like, she just at a certain point, all these people are just left alone. And it's just remnants. And everything is remnants. Everything is like remnants of a past. And it holds an energy. What was that I had just seen where it drove that home? The remnants of a past holding energy. I can't remember what it was. I had just seen this video. I was like, oh, see? That is totally, this is the kind of stuff. This energy is held, and this energy, it's like whatever is there living, we are creating energy. And when we go, it goes with that. Like it just is like this energy layers of existence. And it's like time traveling is giving it attention, like going into it, focusing on it, that period of time or something. And it's like you can go into it, but everything is through your mind. But it is because it's trippy, because like we're here and we interact and there's other people and other perspectives and stuff. So it's like we're all individually going through our minds, and we're coming into a collective state of consciousness where we're all in agreement over what is happening, or this is happening, or that is happening. And so it is that wait a second, because there was something else. Okay, so the energy, oh yeah, okay, so my grandma and the baby. Okay, so, oh yeah, when we went up to do her funeral and stuff, my granddaughter Zen it was this huge, huge old cemetery. And it may be different in other places. Like I'm on the West Coast, and so the West Coast is a lot less of this stuff than the East Coast. But but anyways, this is a huge cemetery, and it had tons of plots left. Like there's tons of space left. So I don't know. And there's lots of little ones too. Like we lived across the street from a little one. There's little cemeteries all over the place, all over the place. And I've seen more about the thing about where you used to just bury your people out on your land. And so there was something in our part of our history where we buried people, and they've been doing it for a long time, because even there over in New Orleans where they made they bury them, but they bury them above ground because of the water thing. So it still is this, putting a body in there and burying it, if it's in a mausoleum or in a grave or whatever. But the but then they switched it, and when they switched it over to telling us all to do cremation, how that was better for all this stuff. I don't know, but I thought, yeah, I'd much rather just go like up in flames and sit there and rot, like my body's rotting away, eaten by worms. But I was a lot more into the flesh and blood concept back then too. And so now it makes me think, did they push this oh yeah, because now they've gone the whole fucking other thing. Did they push us to go into that cremation because then they can take parts off? And we don't know. Like if you go to a funeral, sometimes like there was an open casket and stuff. So if somebody's missing their hair and stuff, like you wouldn't know if stuff was missing inside of them, but you would see if their hair was. And it would be counterproductive to put a wig on unless you use the same wig all the time. But then how would you be able to match the people's hair? So I think it was just like, man, we're burying all this stuff that we could be using, as these people are like that. And so that's what I said. All these dogs, don't fucking kid yourself. They're not putting all this fucking dogs to death and then they're using it. And so I think what they did was start pushing us to cremate so that they could take stuff like hair and stuff like that. Because you've got, I mean, the nightmare stories that have come out of this stuff over place, crematoriums and stuff like that. Like there's ones that have got bodies all cut up, and because they sell this shit. And I don't understand the whole market. I don't understand what the fuck, all the whole goddamn thing. But I can see totally on the wig thing. I mean, when you've got people who are making money off digging out of sewers and getting hair out, and there's stuff about like the hairy flesh, and like it's so fucking gross. And then they go and put this in and people walk around sporting it like hell yeah. And then they get a push on it with the people who are sick. Like, oh, they lost all their hair. Well, why do we feel like we need to put on fake hair to hide our sickness? Why don't we just like, and sometimes it takes our bodies time to heal, but see, there's a whole fucking thing that goes with sickness. It's like they want people to wear a badge of honor. They want people, and people get caught up in wearing this. I'm sick. I've got this. I've got that. I struggle so hard, and all of this thing. So that is a part of our society. This victim built. We've built the victim. We've built the patient. The patient that has no patience, because you need patience to be able to heal yourself. So, but now what I was going to say, because now they've gone the other step and just gone total Soylent Green. Now they're just like, hey, we're just going to crunch you up and spray you on the crops. We're going to feed you back to yourself. So they've just gone the other level. But so it was a step down kind of situation. Now it seems like what you want to do is say, I want to open casket, I want to be buried. No, what we need to do is just start fucking digging holes in our backyard and say, well, that's where my family is. Right here with me. And Get out of all their shenanigans, because all of it has just been shenanigans. Everything is about creating the victim, creating the patient, making us sick, making us not believe in ourselves, making us fear everything. Because that is the thing, is like, it isn't it isn't like out of fear, but it's out of awareness. Like, why would I go out into the middle of a fucking, it's like, that is good. Yeah, because all, like, you see these videos of all these sharks. Like, I've seen videos where there's, like, off of Florida, there's a shit ton of sharks, and these guys are on boats looking, and there's so fucking many sharks. There's so many shark attacks going right now because whatever, if it's the vibration in the water, if it's the heat, if it's the, I mean, there's all sorts of people talking about this dragon situation, and there's all sorts of shit about whatever is in the water. Like, everything crazy is going to start being exposed to us, because this world is, they've tried to make us believe it was this, but it was way, way more than that. And so you have to unleash your mind from staying in this little tiny box and let it go and let the world reveal itself. But so this dragon situation, which, that, talking about that, I guess, can get you taken down real quick. And I don't know. I don't know if these things are going to be coming back and coming into our reality. I mean, there's lots of people saying they're up flying through the sky right now. It all depends on your vibration and stuff, if you can see them. And so, whatever, all of this, but anyways, like, yeah, like how I see it is like that, like this world of this chaos and these sharks everywhere, and you're going into this murky water and taking a risk to go against these sharks that are there to devour us. And that is how I see, like, the energy that is going on the planet right now, is this, there's so much of this energy that wants to devour us, and it is based on this shallow aspect of us. Like, yeah, I'm got to get to the party. The party is all I care about. Then it's like, you got to get to the party, and the party is all you care about. Then I would say, expect some crazy shit to go down, so that the world or the universe gets you to pull out of this, just it's all about you, it's all about you, to give you this opportunity to connect to the collective consciousness. And it's weird, because it's not about being fear. You got to break away from fear. You're not doing it because you got to have an understanding nothing can happen to you that's not meant to happen to you. So nobody's going to run up and stab you unless you're meant to be stabbed. And you're meant to go through that crisis. You're meant to go through that experience. So that's the only way it will happen to you. So there's not a reason to fear it. Yeah, it's a little tense when you don't know what's coming for you next. It's like that, waiting for somebody to hit you in the face with a pie or something. But that's where you got to learn how to build your trust and your communication with the universe. So to me, it seems like that that those things happen when you're not paying attention to get your attention. So when you're paying attention, those things won't happen. Like, even if you went out to a festival and, you wanted to go and hang out with your friends or whatever and enjoy your time here, whatever, if that's your motivation or whatever, then you got to go with that motivation. But then it is, if you don't have, the only way that something will happen to you is if it's supposed to, like, if that is a part of your lesson. So it's like, once you get over that and realize it, it's not like you have to keep learning the lessons. It's like, you just have to learn these certain things. But I don't know what each person has to learn, because we all have different things. We're all learning different things. We're all experiencing different things in our understanding and our perspective, because that has to do with the us evolving. And so you don't want to be sitting in your house just building your fear As you're zooming in more and more on your fear. Your fear is getting bigger and bigger because you're zooming in on it. You got to zoom out and, to me, go into logic. Like, nothing can happen to me that's not supposed to happen to me. If it happens to me, then that's what I'm here for. And but then to have the awareness that shit is going down, because to me, is what keeps it from happening to you, because you have awareness, because you're paying attention, you're on alert. And so you see something coming, you're ready to dodge it, to move out of the way. And then, I mean, I don't know if alcohol, the spirits of alcohol are doing more stuff, getting in people. Like, I don't know if it's a good idea to be drinking a lot at this time. Like, I don't know, what, I'm not at that guy's life review. So I don't know what took him over to get him to think that was a good idea to set fireworks off on your head. So I don't know. But there's other crazy, outrageous things happening, and horrible things that people are doing to kids and animals. It just keeps going and going. Um, just people keep exposing their attitude. So many people have such hateful attitudes. Oh, yesterday, this was wild. And I know it's the bots, but I had said, what was it? I said something about freedom. Because I said something. Dang it, what was it? I said something, and it was, oh, it was I don't get why people are celebrating. And, like seriously, what are you celebrating when there's no freedom? And that was what the 4th of July was supposed to represent. So what is it? What is the deal out there? And, the attacks, it was within seconds. And I was already suspicious on my TikTok one, because I have seen where people say about this getting spammed. If somebody comes in and just likes a whole bunch of your videos, that is spamming your account. So it kind of shuts your account down, which I kept having videos that were getting seen by a lot of people. And so then I got spammed, and so it shuts it down and again. And then this one, I don't even know what's going on in this one. I mean, maybe people are just get sick of listening to me. I don't know. But anyways, so it got spammed, and then immediately, as soon as I had posted that, it was like fucking in seconds, I had all these comments, but they were attacking me. I need to shut up, my old bitter face. Get out of here, you old bitty, shut your grumpy ass up. No one wants to hear your shit. Go, all this kind of stuff. And I was just blocking. I went on a check to see. There was a couple of them that seemed to be real people, but mostly it was bots. One of them was a woman, though, who was a patriot. She's like, we just need to get it through our heads that the patriots are going to be out there celebrating freedom. It's Donald 2024, and it's all about them. Like, we want to go out there and fucking, I mean, there was 4 houses in one neighborhood that started on fire. Yeah, just because we want to go out, and or some people, there's some guy got his hand blown off. Like, there was just nonstop fucking chaos and shit out there. And but whatever's gonna happen to you is supposed to happen to you. Just remember that. And I couldn't believe the attitude. Well, I knew the attitude of the bots, but then I was like, oh, so they don't want us to say we're not free. That really pisses them off. So they want us to believe that we have freedom and get out there and celebrate. People, celebrate your birthdays as you're dying from poisoning. Get out there and celebrate. You got another one. We allowed you to have another one. Get out there and celebrate your freedom as we take it all away from you. It's just like absurd. And that is where I say there's a lot of these patriots. I'm telling you, they're in the third group. They think they're so awake. They think they're just out there leading the way. They're the purebloods, and they're Jesus's own, and all this stuff. It's like there's a lot of that group that is in the third group. They are going to be hit the hardest when things turn the other direction. And you think like, well, they're religious and they're awake and stuff, but it's their attitude. It's their it's the judgmental, hateful, ego driven. We're better than other people. We know what's right. We know what's wrong. You guys are stupid. We're going to live the way we want to live because we're doing it right. Like, just their whole thing. And so that is a group, because all of these groups, and there's been this group breakdown and then group creation. So that group was definitely created. um, what it stands on is energy that is leaving the planet. It stands on, like, maybe it was very much how the people came together, and during certain times where things were pushed, and this group of people came together and stood strong. And a lot of it has been built like all the way back from 26, and like I think even before that. Like, some of that was being built in like 2015 and stuff. Some of these groups were being built for a long time, but that group is added on. But the thing is like, you can go in and support somebody, but not become a part of uh, this ego mind drive thing that they have going. And I think that is why he's gonna do more outrageous shit. It is to push these people to like let go. There's like, this is the thing, is like there's all these different people who are asleep and attached to these different things. So those things have to push back. And there's gonna be a lot of pushback. But those people, to me, like I've said, the group who is going to go, who's going to seem like it's going really good forward, is going to be more, I say, more spiritual people, more people who have been focused on healing and understanding this world and themselves through their spiritual concepts, and uh, going on this path towards enlightenment. That group, when this stuff goes down, is going to feel peace. They're not going to feel stress. They're going to, it's going to be like that. It's going to be role models, because it's going to seem so chaotic to so many other people when this shit goes down. And these will be the people who are like, everything's fine, guys. Everything's fine. Come on, come on. The middle group, the ones that they're all not all hung up on the Jesus story. They just don't know. They're just kind of like, they gotta get to work, and a lot of them don't take good care of themselves. They eat tons of poison. They put poison on their heads, on their faces. They probably have lots of air fresheners, and like they really like scents and stuff like that. And so that group, see, they're gonna, I think that they are all subtly waking up throughout this and realizing about this is poison. Because like when I talk to my daughters and stuff, like they're all realizing these different things and starting to take more care of their health. And that group will be the group that goes in an easier shift through this. And I think some of them have been like, they may not listen when you say crazy shit, but it still has gone in, it's penetrated. It still is like, because you'll notice them saying, oh, this just happened, you had said, and you said this was going to, so they listened, but they may have thought, well, you sound crazy, but now everything is in there replaying. But this other group, see, they're very resistant. They think there's one story. Jesus is going to save them. Jesus is, and Donald and Jesus. They've got, the trifecta. Donald, Jesus, and them. Like, they think it's so. And there's just like, you can just, when you hear them talk and stuff, there's just so much ego, and they're okay with this division. But you have this other group too that is very divisive. But it's kind of like they're divisive over fear. Like it has to do with your intention, your motivation. And if you are being motivated by ego or you're being motivated by fear, there's going to be differences in how the things that what how things play out and how they affect people. But I still say this one group is going to have the hardest time. And when I hear some of them say stuff, it's just like, yeah, like, I mean, how ridiculous. Like, houses are getting blown up. There's all sorts of people are getting hurt. Uh, the just the inconsiderate nature of setting off explosives in the middle of the night and stuff while people are sleeping. And this was not just in my neighborhood. I've seen tons of videos, tons that this is going on all over the place. And everybody is just like, how fucking rude. How rude. And it is like these people who don't even realize that they're rude. You're putting your joy, you're ahead of everybody else. And this is what I was talking about, what it used to be like in this tribe mentality. If it wasn't good for everyone, then you didn't do it. And see, we've moved into this ego driven, it's all about me part of society. And that's why there's some of these people doing these wacky things. They're so in their ego, they don't even think. Like, they don't even think something could happen to them. They don't even, like, it's a state of consciousness. Everything is states of consciousness. How people look at things, how people perceive. And this is a big shift. So wherever anybody is, they're going to get shifts. They're going to start seeing things that they hadn't seen before. They're going to have realizations that they hadn't even ever thought of before. And depending all on you and what you're here to learn and what you're here to experience, it'll depend on how profound, how hard, how sad, how tragic. You are the you're the learner, so it's all for you. It's your lessons, it's your experience, and it's all for your benefit. But that is the thing, is that keeps people not experiencing the experience, is they don't think it's for their benefit, so they try and control it. And then they put all their energy towards trying to create or control how they want it to go. But where is it coming from? Why do you feel that you need to do all these things? Because the universe will play your life out for you without you having to do all these things. But that is where you've got to learn how to, that you were the one who's coming up with all these things that you have to do. And where is it coming from? Why do you think that you have to do all these things? Why do you think that the universe is failing? Why do you think the universe doesn't know what it's doing? Why do you think that you have to step in and do any of the things? And that is huge, to keep to not do things, to just be like, okay, well, let's let it happen. Let this happen. Let that happen. Let's just, the world has something that's playing out, and I'm here as the structure for it to play out in or with. And also the people, like the energies and stuff you come in with, where so many people think that they don't like these people and stuff. I swear to God, you got to keep remembering that all these people are just in costumes. Like, if you could recognize them in their soul, you would not have harsh feelings towards them. It is that they have on costumes and you're caught up in the reality. So weird, because it is so much about focusing on this reality and giving it realness. That's what gives it the realness. But the more that you can realize that it's not real and let go of it, the more it shifts your perspective into a more open understanding. I mean, it is more honest to what this world is. So it is, all I can keep saying is you just got to keep opening your mind. And I don't know how shut everybody's mind is. Like, it could be very uncomfortable to keep opening it. I mean, there's people who don't even have any inner dialogue. There's people who can't envision inside them. There's so many things. There's lots of development. I don't even know. Maybe some people aren't meant to, but then maybe it's a side of you that you just haven't given time to. And maybe this is where you learn to give yourself more time and develop more of your capabilities, more of your abilities, more of what you can do, and not live in limitations. Because most of the people just live with a limiting view of things, limiting views of themselves, limiting views of this world. Like, it's still so weird, because I've seen more of this. Like, another woman doing the eyebrow thing. Was, I guess this will be all the thing now. Putting on the eyebrow filter so it shows you where your eyebrows should be. And it is like, it's like your face, your mask is you. It represents you. So if your eyebrows are crooked, if your nose is crooked, if your whatever is wrong isn't what's wrong, it's you. That is who you are. And it isn't like where we come up with that this means that this is wrong or that's wrong or this is right, this is the right way to look, this is the wrong way to look. That is absurd. Like, all you can do is look around and see all the different people, and everybody is supposed to look how they look. That gives you, it's like the you. Like, we're not supposed to all try and have like perfect eyebrows and perfect lashes and perfect hair and all that stuff. We're not supposed to be all of that stuff. Like, that is a part of the illusion to keep you dissatisfied and keep trying to change and drive this this drive inside of you of dissatisfaction, where you're never good enough, you don't look right, your body's not right, your hair's not right, but that is all because you're comparing it to something. See, confirmation. What are you comparing? Like, you're not supposed to be comparing, and it's natural. Like, I can slip into that real easy too. And so, but that's where we have to catch ourselves. You have to catch yourself when you start slipping and you start going in a weird direction or thinking outside. Well, you want to think outside the box, but when you start thinking in a non-productive way, when you start like regurgitating information, which, god damn, my head's been just like, it is almost like I have to keep, it's weird because it's like I have to keep telling, I don't know, it is wild energy right now. It's like I have to keep pulling it back and then repeat and pulling it back and repeat and pulling it back and repeat. And it's just like, man, this is so weird. Everything feels weird. Feels almost like you could just disappear. And anyways, so all of the stuff, and there's going to be more and more, like, because all of these things, even when nothing huge happens, even when, the towers don't blow up to change our lives, because something's going to happen, something's going to happen, but even when nothing like that is happening, and we're all on the edge of our seats, what's next, is that these little occurrences that are happening all around, everywhere, those are waking people up. All these occurrences are creating people to have to pull in, like, problem solve. Like, you've got a whole bunch of problems and you're just always focused on work, and then all of a sudden you've got to change your focus and redevelop, and you start seeing different things and understanding different things. And so all of those all the things happening are making changes. They're waking people up. So we don't have to sit there and think, well, this is never going to happen just because the big thing hasn't happened. It's happening all over. People are going into crisis. People are waking up. The shifts are happening. People are becoming more aware of what's really going on. People are becoming more aware of the common enemy. People are becoming more aware of how they are, how we're under assault, and but there's definitely a heavy weight on the, well, we'll get somebody in the office. But see, when you get somebody in the office, that just puts people back to sleep. They just hand their problems over to that person. Here, you solve all the problems. You solve the problems of our town. We're just going to go back over here. I've got a party to get to. I've got some distraction to go. And so that's why we're not going to go towards government, even though this whole big thing is going. And I just saw a guy doing a good video, and he was talking about, and he's in England, but he was saying the same thing, as once you know their bullshit, that they can't do anything to you. They can't arrest you. They can't do any of the stuff. Once you say, I'm not playing along, they can't do stuff. So, I don't know. That guy had a whole bunch of things, and he just goes in and is like, oh, I'm not playing this game. So anyways, we have way more power than we think. And the more of us that come together, and the more of us wake up and see, that is, the more of us that come together is opening up where people feel more safe to share their stories. There's so many more people sharing their stories. There's so much horrific shit. Like, the one woman is still sharing her stories about her grandpa, who's the preacher, who's the fucking serial killer, mass murderer. And everybody go, well, he's a man of God. Well, it's okay. You just psychopaths out there that we've been living around. But see, they're being exposed. That energy is what is leaving. The energy that's leaving is the energy that we don't want. The energy that's staying is the compassion and the love. And I saw another video, like I saw one horrific abuse thing with a dog, and they had been begging these people to give their dog to them. And this dog's just starting its healing journey. It's a fucking mess. There's so many of these. And what was I going to say? Is the people, oh yeah. And so you've got people like that energy. And then I had just talked about this, and I saw this lady do this video. So she was going into Target, and there was a woman who said, hey, as she was walking in, and she goes, well, I don't have any change, but do you need anything? I'll get it while I'm in here. And the woman said, well, I could really use some deodorant. And so the woman was like, okay, well, the lady's holding a little baby, and she goes, well, does your baby need anything? And sad. And she said, he's been in the same diaper all day. The woman who's getting this stuff is bawling. Like they want us to treat each other so inhumanely. And so she went in and she got the baby a bunch of stuff, brought out this lady, diapers, wipes, clothes, all sorts of stuff out, and gave it to this lady. And, she wanted to say, the woman who gave this stuff was trying to say, we've got to get this other side of ourselves, this compassionate side. These corporations want to take everything from us. And there's people out here struggling so hard. If you can do anything to help somebody, do what you can to help. Because that is, that's where unity lies. That's where we come together. And that's that compassion I was talking about back in the 1940s during that other period of time where everybody was being starved and stuff. People came together, and it wasn't like, oh, I have a sandwich, I'm going to hide from everybody and eat it. No, everybody shared it. People shared what they had. People gave what they had. They didn't think like, well, I got to hold on to this, I got to hold on to that. And I was thinking, as a part of the energy too that is going to dissolve, is all these people who got all this food, like filled their basements, filled what are those, some bomb shelters and shit, like made a whole survival thing, and all full of all the food that nobody would eat again. Like, none of us are gonna want to eat that shit. I just saw a woman open up Mike's Hard Lemonade. Like, there's so many of these things. Like, I swear to God, I just don't even want to. Eating nuts seems like beans and nuts. It's like yesterday was beans and nuts and lettuce. I was like, fuck, you gotta eat such basic shit, man. But so she opened a My Hard lemonade and took a sip and was like, "Ooh, that tastes funky." And she was like, "Maybe it's me." And she took another sip and was like, "Ugh, no." And she dumped it out. And then when she dumped it out, she could hear something in the can. And so it didn't come out. So she got her flashlight and was looking in. A motherfucking dead mouse. A whole motherfucking mouse. It's a whole mouse. You can see it clear as day in her can. And she's just totally grossed out, just like the other girl. The other girl, even the next day, she was still like, and I still don't know if hers is a finger or whatever. She's got a lawyer and stuff. This woman needs to also, because everything is going to be on these class action suits. There's one that is starting a big one. There's going to be tons of them, tons, because all these corporations have been criminal. And so there's going to be tons of these lawsuits and stuff. But fuck, there's nothing out there that these people make for us that's safe. They don't give a shit. Like, just imagine what the fucking vats look like. If there's a mouse inside one, how many mice are running around on it all, and how much of it has got mouse poop in it? And oh man, the stuff we've consumed. And then they start talking to us about what we are going to consume. And it's like, just wait until people start waking up to what they have been consuming. All this death and decay that people have been eating, and then people wonder why they're getting sick. And then they feel this death and decay full of chemicals, and like the whole thing. So all these things have to shift. All of this is like people's eyes opening. All of this is like, I always see a kitten whose eyes are shut, and you can't open their eyes. Their eyes open naturally. And it's a process. And so that's what we're going through, this process. And there's still some with their eyes closed, but there's some that are like starting to peek through. But whatever this event that's going to happen, that's what's going to be like, boom. It's going to be this total reevaluation of everything, how you looked at things, how you saw things, what you thought. It's just a reevaluation. And it seems so simple, and it should be, but it's going to hurt so bad because people are been so disconnected from their Holy Spirit. They've been so disconnected from themselves. So this is going to be a very painful endeavor for a lot of people, because it is that same thing of like, you did things that you aren't proud of, or immoral things, because you turned a blind eye to your morals. But your morals are going to, like, your spirit is going to now be more of what is in charge. And so you're going to feel shame and regret for a lot of things that you said or did, or how you looked at things. There'll be things that people just thought in their heads that they're going to feel so exposed about. They're going to feel horrible. It's going to eat them up. You are the one who has to master that. You are the one who has to learn how uh, what is that called? To regulate yourself. You've got to learn that all these things are going to be going on, or it's like multifaceted situation. Then you have to learn how to regulate yourself. So you have to see the truth, and then learn how to regulate your emotions and how you feel about things. And to me, your smartest thing always to do is to go into contact with your guides. Spend time in the quiet space, in the time of reflection. And it doesn't have to be just quiet where there's no talking. Mine's always talking. So but being a part of the conversation, ask questions, listen to answers. It's just a different participation in life than to just always be looking outside of you and trying to control and force things and worrying about what everybody thinks and all that stuff. And so anyways, all this stuff, all this evolution of man is, there is some really spectacular things happening, because it doesn't happen out in all these other places. It's not like all the people from Lyria or the Lyrans or whatever are all going to go over to the Pleiades and say, hey, we all want to get along together, so let's all join forces and we're going to switch philosophies and stuff. that is, it's kind of like what happens in a relationship too, in a marriage, and or a union, because it is, before, that is what we were doing. We were marrying two different energies and then trying to make a completion, make a family unit. And and I know in mine, and I was married a few times, that the whole time you're always like, you're not in alignment with these people. Like, you came from different worlds, and now you're trying to become an agreement of how to raise kids and what to do with your free time and what to spend money on and how to decorate and stuff. It's like, so that concept is like beginner level, but that is what we're doing as a whole, is just all of us coming together. And what's going to happen. It's not something we need to stress out about. Like, we're just in it. We're in the wave of it happening. And so you can just sit and watch how it happens, but it's going to happen. And then and then we're going to all come together and start building communities, and the world's going to change. It's going to change into a beautiful experience. But all of this negative, toxic energy has to be weeded out. But that is why the universe gives everybody an opportunity, like, to have things come up in them. And is it really you? Is it part of you? Is it something you can let go of? Because the darkness isn't moving forward. It's the light. It's that attitude, that energy of being in service to others and wanting to help, not holding on and hiding what you have so nobody else sees it, but being like, yeah, I've got it. Let's share it. That is what we are going into. This very much like there's plenty for everybody, and even when they try and make this threat that there's not, but there really is. It is more of like you feeling like there's not enough, I'm going to starve, I don't have enough. And that is what I said is what they created in that Mustache Man's thing. What that whole thing they told us about was, creating this starvation and stuff. Because when we are noticing for ourselves, like, I don't feel like I'm starved, like my body gets hungry. And that is a whole thing where it's like it's growling at me and it feels like it wants to eat. And you're going through everything thinking like, oh my God, there's nothing to eat. I don't know what to feed you. So, but I don't feel in lack, because I know in my heart that we don't need food. We don't need all this. I feel like this is a part of our step down of our understanding. Like, we thought we needed food, and so they poisoned it for us, but we don't really need all that. So anyways, we'll see as everything keeps playing out, but I definitely don't think that this is like a lack way of looking at food. You got to keep looking at it as like you've got plenty. And it really, this is something that they told me when I think it was with my first child, and she was picky, and she didn't want to eat anything. And the doctor told me a baby or a kid only needs like 2 tablespoons of food, and it's got all their nutrition for the day, so don't stress it. I was like, oh, huh. So that is something that always stuck with me. Like, we don't, like, we're packing on the pounds because we're given all this extra food that we don't need. That's when we've got to come to that realization. And I don't know how much we all need. I don't think just because I keep hearing all these things, this different stuff about stomach growling and all that stuff that's different than what we think. So I don't know. I try and listen to my body more of like the weakness and stuff. And then anything I take, I also try and take high nutrition and, impact stuff, like drinking all these teas and stuff. I've drank so much root powders and shit, so much healthy stuff. So, that's what I think too, is like, yeah, make sure you're drinking healthy stuff. But then it's like, fuck, I've got this V8 juice. It's like, oh my God, it tastes normal, but any of the stuff that we get from them that they make, grapefruit juice, I've been getting grapefruit juice. I had gotten some orange juice, but orange juice kept bothering me because it kept being like, this does not look like orange juice. This is like they've taken oranges and just uh, devoured them or something. Like, I don't know how they create orange juice, but it's not juice. It's something else. But grapefruit juice. There's some other juices that seem like you're really juice. And I don't know. It probably depends on what brand of grapefruit juice too. But anyways, now, after seeing the Mike Hard Lemonade thing, now it's like, Jesus Christ. Do I even want to get any more of their juice to just get... And I did get some oranges before and made juice. And it takes a zillion of them. That's another thing, too. They're not going to use a zillion oranges to give us one little fucking drink of juice. They'll just do... They'll just do whatever. Like feed us back dead things. That's what we got going on here. So anyways, enough of this, enough of that. You got to make the best of it. And it's all, this is your show. This is your life. This is your experience. This is your awakening. So do with it what you will. But just remember, you got to love yourself, love everyone, and have a loving day, because it is up to you. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.